After squandering a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter of Super Bowl 54, the San Francisco 49ers had an injury-riddled 2020 season. All-pro tight end George Kittle missed half the season, and quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo and star pass rusher Nick Bosa suffered season-ending injuries, and so the Niners eventually finished last in the NFC West. In the offseason, it was pretty clear what position the Brass wanted to upgrade when they surrendered 2 future first-round picks to move into the top 3 in the NFL draft. And come draft night, many thought Mac Jones would be their target under center, but GM John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan were locked in on former North Dakota State quarterback Trey Lance. And while Lance may need some time to develop, he offers tantalizing potential.
I take every rep, obviously, to do my very best and not make the same mistake twice.
The 49ers still possess one of the most talented rosters in the league, but the NFC West will likely be a whole lot more competitive in the 2021 season. Will Jimmy G return to 2019 form when he had the 49ers on the cusp of a Super Bowl title? Or will the Trey Lance era start sooner than we think? The quarterback situation will be a storyline to watch out for all year long in the Bay.
Let's welcome in our NFL insider, Jonathan Jones, there live at 49ers training camp. Of course, JJ, the biggest question overall, the quarterback battle. We got Jimmy Garoppolo. We got the guy they took 3rd overall in Trey Lance. Now, up until this point, it's been all Jimmy G, as we're told, for the season. But what are you hearing and seeing out there?
Yeah, I told all the guys that I spoke to today, and we spoke with 4 49ers out here, that I was contractually obligated to ask them about the quarterback competition. And it was funny. I asked Trent Williams, the starting left tackle, about, last week, Trent, you said, I don't think this is a competition yet. How about this week? How are you feeling about it 7 or 8 days later? And he kind of laughed. He's like, it's not a competition. And he didn't mean that as any disrespect to Trey Lance, but Trent Williams has only been here for 2 years, but he's saying that Jimmy Garoppolo is playing out of this world right now. And frankly, Jimmy Garoppolo looked really good out there today. Yeah, I had a couple of long throws, so did Trey Lance. In fact, if I had to put the two of them against one another today and today alone, there's no question that Jimmy Garoppolo had the better day at quarterback. Of course, Trey Lance working with the 2s throughout the day and Jimmy with the 1s. But in that hurry-up offense, they were basically giving the ball around the other 40 with 1:20 to go. Both of them scored touchdowns. Garoppolo able to get it in the end zone, passing it to Brandon Ayuk right there at the goal line. And meanwhile, I saw Trey Lance hitting up Ross Dwelly, the 2nd or 3rd string tight end, for a touchdown. So they both look good in the hurry-up offense, but no question about it, Jimmy Garoppolo is having a fantastic camp. Trey Lance, he's coming along. And we also heard from Kyle Shanahan, who finally revealed what they're going to do for their first exhibition in just a couple of days against the Kansas City Chiefs. What we're going to see is Jimmy Garoppolo starting with, of course, the starters for the first series, and then it becomes a Trey Lance show for the last about quarter and a half. It's unlikely that Trey Lance is going to start into the second half. That'll probably go to Josh Rosen or Nate Sudfeld, but we're going to see Trey Lance for about 30 or so snaps against the Kansas City Chiefs. He's not going to be with any of the starters, though. When Jimmy Garoppolo goes out with the starters, so do all of the other starters. But can't wait to see what Trey Lance looks like with the bullets really flying in a real NFL preseason game.
JJ, let's talk about another rookie for the 49ers, running back Trey Sermon, joining Raheem Mostert there in that backfield. You got to look at Trey Sermon today. What'd you think?
Yeah, he looked really good. And I thought that my eyes might have been deceiving me just how well he looked. So I asked Trent Williams, who obviously has an up-close and personal seat to this running back competition. I mean, it's Raheem Mostert there at RB1, but Trey Sermon's looking great. And Trent Williams told me it's uncanny. He used the word uncanny, what his balance is like. He even compared him to Emmitt Smith. He said, I haven't seen this kind of balance since Emmitt Smith. Maybe Alvin Kamara, he said, and I couldn't stop myself. And man, you know, sometimes when you do these interviews, you're not supposed to talk on the other side. You're just supposed to let him go ahead and talk. Well, I was like, whoa, you sure about that? So Trey Sermon getting a lot of praise from one of the best left tackles in the game, a guy who has seen a whole lot of football. When you start talking about Emmitt Smith for a rookie in Trey Sermon, so I'm going to take Trent Williams' word on that because I saw how good Trey Sermon looked out here, and Mostert, again, is going to be RB1 to start out the season. But when you're getting praise heaped on you like that from guys who know, that's saying a lot for the young Trey Sermon.
I'm looking forward to watching hopefully him August 14th against the Chiefs there. All right, let's talk about Nick Bosa. coming off, of course, that ACL injury in 2020. He went out in week 2. So everything we've heard so far, he's still on track for week 1. But what is he looking like? Do we see him in any preseason games? What's the latest?
I do not believe that we're going to see him in any preseason games. The sort of bad injury luck that this team had last year, there is always going to be that balance, and that's something that Kyle Shanahan talked about, of getting guys ramped up and ready to play for the season, but then also, of course, making sure that they're able to play in the season. He talked about D Ford last year, who didn't get that sort of time and that ramp up in the weird preseason that we had last year, and then just a couple of snaps into his first game realized, yeah, this isn't going to work, and he missed the rest of the season. They don't want history to repeat itself with Nick Bosa. And in fact, I'd love to tell you how he looked out here, but he wasn't out here today. I believe it was a maintenance day for Nick Bosa. But what has he been doing? He's been working during individual drills, but he has not participated in team drills. So again, a maintenance day for him. They're going to take it easy going into this exhibition against the Chiefs, and I would suspect that he will be back out here for more individual drills as they continue to ramp him up. I am not confident saying that Nick Bosa is either going to play or not play in any of the preseason games, nor am I confident that he is absolutely going to be ready for week 1 and they're going to feel comfortable and confident putting him out there. I think that we're still going to need a couple more weeks before we make any sort of strong declarations regarding Nick Bosa and his availability.
Slow and easy with the injuries. Let's look at the injuries overall. Thanks to producer Jack was helping me this. So, of course, the 49ers go to the Super Bowl 2019, 6-10 last season. By the end of the season, JJ, they had 18 players on IR. Give me the health of this team as a whole, where it stands now, and if they can stay healthy, your expectations for them.
Yeah, I think that the sky's absolutely the limit for these 49ers. I don't think there's any question about that. Listen, Amanda, folks they were trying to put Trey Lance and Canton forget the 5-year waiting period. Forget that he even has to play an NFL game. This guy, based off of a couple training camp tweets, there was no way that you're going to keep him off the field in week 1. Jimmy Garoppolo is having a good training camp. I'm not going to sit here and say he's having a great training camp like some of his teammates are, but they're here every day. They know it. Maybe they're a little biased. But it's going to be Jimmy Garoppolo's show in week 1. The fact is that the 49ers can absorb his contract of around $25 million. They believe that he gives them the best chance and opportunity to win a championship this year. It really is that simple. And yeah, Trey Lance was drafted 3rd overall for a reason. He's going to be good. He's going to flash, but there's still a whole lot of things that Trey Lance just doesn't know yet about this system. Trent Williams said, my gosh, he just turned 21. The guy, he just was able to legally buy a beer. So a lot of folks here have been pumping the brakes on Trey Lance. And from the outside looking in, Amanda, I thought that it was just sort of, hey, let's not pump up the young kid too much. Let's make sure that Jimmy has his head on straight. I really don't think it's that anymore after being here, after talking with folks on and off the record. It really is true that Jimmy's having a solid season. So, yeah, of course it comes down to injury luck, just like it is for just about any team. If you're going to compete for a championship, you're going to have to stay healthy. We see it year in and year out. And talking with George Kittle, I said, what are your individual goals for this season? And he said, you know what? If I play 21 games, that is my goal for the season. That means a 17-game season, a 4-game postseason, and that means that they are at least playing for a world championship, if not winning one. So health is huge, is a huge factor for this team, just like it is every team. But what John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan and the rest of this fantastic personnel department and staff here have put together, there's no question on paper they are a championship contender.
All right, Jonathan Jones, thank you so much for joining us live. We will bring you, of course, here on HQ, that entire interview with George Kittle, so you guys stay tuned. JJ has been all around the country. He will continue to do so as we are on our training camp tour here on CBS Sports HQ today, getting live reports there from Jonathan Jones. We've got Evan Washburn with the Ravens, who says Lamar Jackson, despite being out with COVID for a little while at the beginning of camp, looks absolutely incredible. And then on Monday, we've got the Bills, the Patriots, the Steelers on Wednesday. It is just getting more and more interesting, folks. Stay with us. Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.